for now, we're going to focus on the final match of today, which is Pandemic Legion versus Shadow Cartel. And I think that this is maybe a little bit more like high-tier play, pilots that we want to see, flying ships we want to see, flying comps we want to see, doing incredible things to one another on camera, and that's delightful for everybody.
Are we selling DVD copies of this after the AT?
Do we sell DVDs of this?
Oh, I'm just asking.
Well, we can market that. This match, we saw the matchup last year, PL versus Shadow Cartel. It was very, very close. Shadow Cartel really put it to PL. Hilarious enough, back then PL took a Shadow Cartel team to fight Shadow Cartel, and boundary violated a few frigs by accident because that's our style. But this time, I think PL is going to do something a little bit different. We saw a very dominant performance from them earlier in today. They had the most expensive team of the tournament so far in the Flaghorn, which is the flagship Balgorn, and double Malices. I doubt PL are going to pull the same setup again, but you still have to respect PL's bag of tricks.
Well, yeah, I think Shadow Cartel.
I was just going to ask really quickly about the Malices. Expecting that they probably won't bring it again, do you think it's even worth the ban from Shadow Cartel?
If you're afraid of them, I think you have to ban them, because once you see them and once you see how potent they are, you have to say, okay, respect ban. You could bring them in another setup. You could, I mean, you have a Flaghorn as your flagship Balgorn as your flagship. So you have to assume that armor setups are going to be key, and Malices are incredible in armor setups.
You know, I think Shadow Cartel's actually looked really strong this tournament run. PL had a bomb run, but I think Shadow Cartel's was better. And today against Ronin,
guys.
Shadow Cartel had a really, really strong showing. And as did PL, but Shadow Cartel didn't need AT ships. So.
Well, so here's the question. If PL go into the elimination bracket, will Warlords throw their match versus Camel so they can come into the elimination bracket as well?
Oh, the hypothetical is getting very uncomfortable. Yeah. I'm sweating now just
because that's definitely a Garmin thing to do. That's definitely the play.
I also I want to point out to the viewership at home that during the course of that last match, for no reason whatsoever, Luis got very tense.
Well, I was just looking at the match. I was like, oh, PL's next. I hope I don't have a heart attack on stream. That would be awful.
Yeah. But
very possible.
Are you at like a pucker factor 5 right now, or where are you?
I mean, I'm a little scared. Okay.
I think that neither of these teams has been against a real test of this level. I mean, we're talking this could be a finals match, right?
Yeah, totally.
This is Warlords Tuskers from yesterday. You know, Exodus Camel. This is
and we saw. I mean, everybody knew Tuskers was strong in the same way they know Shadow Cartel is strong. Obviously, Warlords, a titan of the tournament, Pandemic Legion as well. And we saw how close that match was. And I think that sets a precedent. Same thing for Exodus versus Camel. I mean, they were the winners last year. There was an AT ship on one side, but not the other. Still a competitive match. So
this is essentially the match. Like, if you look at the brackets, you can go to null-sec.com and you can just see the bracket play out. This is the lower part of the bracket that PL's in, and whoever wins this match definitely has the easiest path to the semifinals. Nice. Okay, so there's some swag going on.
There is potential though for the winner to just move forward and then have to fight the losing team of this match like twice in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's where is that not what happened last year?
It is.
PL dropped down into the elimination, or no, Nully dropped down into the elimination bracket and then took PL out.
That's right.
And that was
PL
really fun to watch.
I mean, worst case we're talking about here. PL is known for coming back from the elimination bracket.
Now, I've gotten a notification here that we do have a flagship on the field.
Nice.
If we want to take a look at it now.
Do we have bands, though?
We've got bands, and we've got flagships.
Ooh, sweet.
We'll bring
Let's do it.
First, we'll go through these bans, so we've got a bit of time. Pandemic Legion, banning out the Nemesis and the Purifier.
That's what they did earlier in the day. The exact same bands.
They Manti Nemesis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
whatever. 2 bombers. Who cares?
Shadow Cartel learning a little bit of a lesson here, I think, from what we've seen from the Alliance Tournament ships already. Banning out the Blackbird and the Malice.
Ooh. Nice. Okay, so they went with the respect ban for the Malice, which is quite strong.
I think they have to. I really do think they have to. I think that they know
really scary shit.
PL has more tricks up their sleeve than that, and I think that they knew full well that as soon as PL flew that double Malice comp this morning, they probably weren't going to bring it again. But if they don't ban out that Malice and they leave the door open, unless you have something you're very confident can deal with a double Malice flagship Balgorn setup, You don't. You have to close that door. You
Yeah,
have
the
to.
only thing that can really deal with that, it's a total gimmick though. If you do it, is just a jamming ship of some sort with just all skew to Mar jammers. But if PL then doesn't take a malice, then you just have like 12 completely wasted points that can't do anything.
Well, and it's also predicated on you being able to keep that ECM alive, which we've seen has been a real struggle so far. Something like a Widow, something high EHP. So we're not talking about putting a Griffin in with the Mar jams. You've really got to invest to try and shut down these malice.
You know, for the flagships that are going to be out here, both of them are one and the same, Shadow Cartel and Pandemic Legion, both opting for the Balgorn, and we know that PL can definitely know how to utilize those Toby webs.
Yeah, we saw it earlier today. PL bringing the.
They have enough money for that?
Flag one. Oh yeah, we got like 5 on there just in case
Five
one.
Toby
Just in
webs.
case one burns out, we have extra in the cargo.
In the cargo, yeah.
Okay.
Good. Can't refit on field in the tournament.
Yeah, just for the next match though.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
We don't repair anything. That's
Carry it
what
with you.
scrubs do.
Yeah.
To clarify for the viewers, we are talking about the modified officer webs. Is that?
Yes.
Tobias webs.
Which go.
So on a Balgorn, you can get about, with links, you can get like a 70-kilometer, 72-kilometer web overheated, which just shrinks that arena down super small.
Yeah, it's a 140 kilometers in diameter, which is really important. So for these kitey teams, it's not just that you know 70 stay away, but it's both sides. So if you park it on one side of the arena, I mean, it is a sizable impassable block.
We saw Tess do this earlier today. You put the Balgorn at 0, you can grab the Logi instantly, no matter where it is.
Yep.
All right, we've got bans then. We've got teams ready to go. Really quick, Pandemic Legion or Shadow Cartel?
Okay, PL's gonna do it with max swag, like completely max swag.
Total swag.
It's just swag fiends.
I hope to see really good execution from both. I think PL is going to go a little bit harder at this than Shadow Cartel, but I think it's going to be a great match. I'm going to say PL is going to take it.
PL has a lot of bag of tricks. They got a lot of AT ships, but Shadow Cartel.
I'm gonna go with Shadow Cartel. Whoa. Even at the desk, balance across a nice level fulcrum square in the middle. Even though the octopus is kicking it over there, and I have to admit that's a heavy octopus. We will go now to CCP Rise and Apothony in the booth for this, the final match of the day, match 108, Pandemic Legion versus Shadow Cartel.
All right, welcome back, guys. Starting the day and ending the day with Pandemic Legion, and they're going to finish us with style today, bringing an Etana for this last match, which is pretty fantastic. They've got some Barghests, a Vulture, Etana, Hugin, couple Hawks, and 4 Bombers. Pretty cool setup on the PL side. What about that Shadow Cartel team?
I may be the PL new boy compared to Release, but my heart is pumping hard now. Shadow Cartel have brought a Balgorn, Barghest, Eo, Celestis, Guardian, double Manticore, double Hound, Svipul, and Manticore. Match is starting in 30 seconds. I am nervous for my PL bros here.
And this is the flagship Shadow Cartel Balgorn. So, from what I understand.
Yeah, it's worth noting that the 2 Hawks from PL have come in really, really close, maybe only 10 off, followed by 2 waves of ships. We've got the, looks like the battleships in next, and then way at the back we have the bombers. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. The final match of the day is underway. Let's see what the first primary is for each team.
An interesting bit of restraint here, by the way, by PL. For max swag, they definitely could have put Cambions where those Hawks are. I'm a little surprised they didn't choose to do that, since they did throw out the cash for the Etana. But yeah, here we go. Ships moving across the field. Shadow Cartel's Feeples charging fast. A couple of them getting pinned down there by the PL Hawks. Let's see how this goes. Etana tackled straight away.
Yeah, note that the Balgorn immediately scrammed. Scram actually off it now. But if you scram the Balgorn, that means you know exactly the sphere of its webs and the sphere of its newts, and you can work around that. Looks like the Barghest of PL is the first thing coming under heavy fire. Hugin taking a little bit of damage, Etana taking a little damage, maybe just to push reps off, maybe to push Cap out of the Etana. But the Barghest is starting to take damage. Hugin's taking a lot of damage. But on the other side, Shadow Cartel, their Barghest all out of shields already, going down onto the armor tank, and the Hound as well, already taking a ton of damage for Shadow Cartel.
And if you guys can't see it there, cap transfer is active for Pandemic Legion. So we have like a little bit of a mini tinker going on here. Cap transfer from the Barghest to that Etana to help him keep his tank active, run that XIII even without charges, or maybe just run a shield booster.
PL have taken a Hound down. They're now working on a Manticore, trying to take that cheap DPS off the field, give their bigger ships much more ease in survival. They are keeping their Barghest up so far, but if they manage to cap out the Etana, get those newts finished on it, if the ET chain doesn't work for a second, Shadow Cartel can bring it back up. That Manticore now dead. PL in the lead.
Yeah, Manticore and Hound down on Shadow Cartel's side. Looks like the two other bombers. Actually, Celeste is taking damage as well. So far, Pandemic Legion certainly in charge. Need to see if Shadow Cartel is able to work its way through that Tinker somehow as the third bomber on the Shadow Cartel side drops.
Yeah, PL picking apart the Shadow Cartel team here. I thought it would be a lot closer than it's turning out to be, but PL are really destroying Shadow Cartel here. Going now for the final bomber. So much DPS removed from the Shadow Cartel team, and they had a lot of trouble breaking PL with those bombers. Without those bombers, it's going to be near impossible unless something horrific goes wrong for the PL team.
I mean, there is still a lot of cap warfare on the Shadow Cartel side coming from their battleships, which could turn things at some point. We saw the Atana show a little bit of missing shields there for the first time in the match, but was able to pull that back pretty quick. So it's hard to say how much effect the Barghest Newts are going to be able to have in the long run. Right now, it doesn't look good, obviously, but that is at least one element that we can't see that could turn things depending on how it goes.
Absolutely. We have the Barghest hard tackled here of PL. He's still not taking that much damage. Etana's still taking bits and bobs. I mean, Tinking in the Etana is doing such a good job. He's keeping everyone topped up all the time, switching his reps really quickly, taking no chances in this match. He's a fantastic, fantastic Logi pilot for PL. And ooh, he's going a little bit low there in shields. It's always scary when you get low in an AT ship, but it looks like he's still doing just fine.
Yeah, and they did just finally get around to dropping that last bomber. So now we'll see how they do against some of the other tanks. I was looking, there is one of the PL Hawks keeping that Celestis under pressure, kind of at the far end of the field, but we'll see. Yeah, if PL has any trouble breaking some of the rest of the ships, I imagine they won't. The Barghest on the Shadow Cartel side is catching reps, but is also dropping HP.
So,
still
interesting
seems to be
fact,
doing okay.
we have Shadow Cartel medium armor repair bots repping the PL team at the moment. They were on Cataclysm, and they've now moved across to Lorena Cameron. Oh, now they're finally being returned to the Shadow Cartel team. Slight misplay there by Shadow Cartel.
That doesn't help at all. Whoa, look at the Atana HP. Look at the Atana HP. Ooh. Newts maybe eventually paying off. The Barghest going really low on the Shadow Cartel side, but that Atana's going into structure.
Are we going to lose an AT ship? Oh, it's desperately trying to hold on, boosting her shield down to the bottom of structure. Down it goes. Down.
All right.
PL losing Atana, first AT ship down to the tournament to PL. Of course, it was going to be near tens, maybe hundreds of billions of ISK lost before our very eyes.
Awesome stuff. Barghest, though, goes down on Shadow Cartel side right after they do take care of that Atana. That's a big deal. Breaking this Tinker, you know, I still, it seems hard for them to find their way in, although they can't help but think of this as a victory in some sense, I think, after nabbing that Atana kill. We'll see kind of how this goes. It hurts bad for Shadow Cartel to lose that battleship, though.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Cartel may have just gone, okay, we're starting to lose the match, but screw it. We're sticking PL the finger. Overheat everything on the Atana.
Looked really close to, but they were able to get it down. So let's see where damage is going now. Sveeple on the Shadow Cartel side taking some damage. The Balgorn on the Shadow Cartel side taking some damage. Looks like Shadow Cartel in return going after the bombers now. There's a web there and also putting some damage into the PL Barghest.
Yeah, I mean, without the Logi left, I mean, you know, PL can drop ships really, really, really quickly. I mean, they've now got to work on mitigating as much DPS as possible. And don't forget, Shadow Cartel, they do have a bunch of ships left. They've got Malediction, Celestis, 2 Swiftles, Guardian, Eos, Balgorn. I mean, I don't think that's a match turner kill, but it means that they might be able to pull off some more kills before they go down.
Sveeple going down really fast. Shadow Cartel losing a Sveeple. That actually hurts a lot. They really need each of these support ships for damage if they're going to win this in the long run. You know, with the Balgorn and with the Guardian still on their field able to rep, there's no reason that they shouldn't be able to sustain and slowly work their way through the PL ships that are now missing Logi. But it's going to be really hard if they lose these Sveeples, which it looks like the second one, even with reps, is going to maybe go down as well. He's like taking big enough chunks to take structure damage between each volley.
I mean, look at the Shadow Cartel team. What DPS do they have left with those people's gone? Celestis probably got armor bots. Malediction, no DPS to speak of. Balgorn could be part Newt, part Gunfit. Maybe, probably full Newt fit, I'd say. Eos, that's going to be links in the highs, maybe damage drones in the lows, more likely heavy armor repair bots, given what's going on. Guardian's not going to need damage, so PL are still totally going to win this match, but that Atana loss is gonna hurt.
Definitely. I mean, Shadow Cartel is getting some damage into this Barghest finally. He's going down to about half shields, but their support's falling quickly here. Malediction now tackled. Celestis about to go down. I just want to put in a small reminder. I'm sure all of you have watched almost every Alliance tournament we've ever shown, but in case you haven't, this happens on Tranquility. That Atana is worth at least as much as the Titan, and that's a real loss that those guys sustain. So just want to make sure that that's kind of on the table in case anybody's new here.
Yeah, I mean, the Atana, to very quickly go into it, it's considered one of the best, if not the best, AT ship for the Alliance tournament. Imagine taking a Basilisk and just making it better, just better. Reps so much. It's just such a powerful ship. Having one in your inventory, as PL still does, I'm willing to bet they've got a few left, it just means all your shield comps have the potential to be so much more powerful with the addition of the Atana. It looks like PL are now finishing cleaning up. They're going for Shadow Cartel's Balgorn.
It's not quite cleanup phase. I mean, it is, like, they've gotten through all the support, but you can see now the PL Barghest is actually hurting pretty bad. He's shield tanked. He's about to go into armor. I mean, Barghest, sorry, on the PL side. Shadow Cartel's Balgorn does have lasers fit. He's got four pulses there fit, so he's slowly chipping away at the Barghest. If nothing else, I guess time becomes a real issue now, even if there's nothing PL is able to kill from this point on, which probably isn't the case, but if it was, there's still just not enough time probably for Shadow Cartel to work their way back in if they're able to kill this Barghest.
Yeah, I mean, the Barghest may go down. By the looks of it, the rep bots are just about keeping up with the Balgorn's 4-gun damage, which people may not know. A Balgorn with 4 guns, oh, it's only 4 guns, no. The Balgorn gets a huge double bonus. Is it like 100% bonus to the damage? Yeah, so it actually does go back up to that effective full 8-gun setup. I think. So it's a lot of damage, but like the rep bots aren't covering the whole of the damage as the Barghest goes into armor now, but they are keeping up. What? Killing it very, very slowly.
The Guardian just disappeared on the Shadow Cartel side.
What?
Yeah. I don't.
Must have boundary violated. It must have.
It didn't actually look. I thought I saw like the HP dip once before it died, but and also it should have been close enough. And I don't see a boundary destruction or boundary violation notification on local, so that's pretty crazy. Maybe he wasn't moving. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just got a good volley off with all the bombers and the Barghests all at once. Just
maybe it was bombs and we missed it.
Did we miss? That would be sad if we missed bombs on the final day. I don't think bombs are going to do much to a Guardian, though, if we're honest.
Balgorn can't tank without the Guardian, so he goes down as well. Maybe PL just turned all their damage off to kind of tease. I don't know. That's weird. It did seem like very little damage.
Looting, and then the Barghest got in trouble, and they were like, no, wait, no, need to finish what we're doing here.
Maybe they all just like threw their headsets off and ran away from their computers after the Atana died, and they just came back to finish things.
There
anyway,
goes the EOS. The end of the match. The end of day 4 of AT13. PL going on to face Nully next. That's going to be one hell of a match.
And we'll go back to the desk for 1 sec, see what they thought of this match before we wrap the day up. We'll see you guys over there.
See you next.
All right, gather around, ladies. Everybody put your makeup bag down. I know last year we all brought our purse and handbags and high heels to the tournament. We kind of let Nully win, but not this year. I have the winning strategy. Has anybody seen Elise?
And that concludes the final match of the 4th day of Alliance Tournament 13. PL moving ahead of Shadow Cartel, who lose, but in losing, managed to take down an Alliance Tournament ship, the Atana.
Yeah, we had like 5 of those just sitting there. They got so baited on that setup. They're like, oh, look at Atana. Oh, my entire team died. Oh,
you know, I gotta say, the Balgorn, if only it could have gotten closer sooner and being able to utilize those newts and the Nosses a little bit more strongly.
Yeah,
luckily that it was flagship.
Just talking seriously for a second, the flagship Balgorn for the Shadow Cartel team was what killed the Atana.
Yep.
So it spread its newts, it dooed the Atana down, although it was a pseudo tinker as CC Rise correctly saw. I mean, just a little bit too little, too late.
That one light tackle, and I didn't get to see if it was this Vipple or Hawk or whatever else. That was just on it with a scram. Completely pulled that.
And in terms of the long game, you have to remember that once a flagship is lost, that team can't use it anymore. So it's not like they can just buy another one, refit it. They can still bring a Balgorn, but now if the Balgorn gets banned, bring it at all. So that opens up for teams in the future where they say, look, the crux of this setup is we can't get Balgorn neuted.
They'll just send me a thank you note for.
Yeah, exactly. So in some ways, not that newts are no longer possible, but in some ways it has gimped a really powerful ship out of the Nully setup with just one van pick now. Or, sorry, not now, Nully setup, Shadow Cartel.
Yep. That is our last match of the day, and rather than prolong the pain here for Elise Randolph, who needs to have a cry, maybe.
No, I mean it's fine.
Happy.
We easily won. Like that was the easiest match I've ever seen in my life.
That ship just popped. I will leave you with a few announcements. Tuesday, the 25th of August, day after tomorrow, Galatea will launch. Make sure you have something in your skill queue training. It's the unlimited skill queue. You're fine. Please be sure to come in on Tuesday, update your clients, get the new patch, see all the things that are coming out in Galatea if you haven't seen them on Singularity already. And then join us next week, the 29th of August, Saturday, for the 5th day of Alliance Tournament 13. The first match will commence at 1500 hours Eve time. That's 3 p.m. here in Reykjavik, Iceland. 1 hour later than the schedule that we've been keeping so far.
There will be a smug explosion next weekend.
A swag explosion?
Smug explosion.
There was
Also a swag explosion.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
It's going to be just. It's going to just become like a singularity. It's going to be that.
Yep. So we will see you next week. Thank you all for tuning in. On behalf of Elise Randolph, Sir Squeebles, Chesser, and myself, CCP Antiquarian, good night.